Hi, my name is Anna and welcome to Techspeak Solutions demo. In this demonstration, we'll focus on key features and functionalities of the Techspeak Solution product. Techspeak Solutions was designed with a goal to help busy professionals who are often overwhelmed with time-consuming and inefficient paperwork. Busy professionals like claim adjusters and property appraisers often need to document their findings and observations in the field. This process is typically inefficient and prone to error. Techspeak Solutions streamlines this process by offering its users speech to text functionalities, which will allow them to document their findings and observations on the go. The application then formats their dictations into a professional looking report, which will save the time and the effort. And so in this demonstration, we'll take a look at the product as a whole, which consists of two pieces. There is a web application and a mobile application. We'll start with a web application workflow, and then we'll transition into a mobile app application. All right, so let's get started with our web application. So for the sake of this demonstration, let's imagine that we have a new user who will be registering for the first time, and let's say they work in insurance. Let's say they are a claims adjuster. So let's start with the sign in. Okay, so let's create a new account, fill out the information here. Now that account is created, we'll enter our credentials and log in into the web platform. So here we go. The user has logged in for the first time, so they are welcomed with a message. And now we can go ahead and see our main dashboard. So this is what the user will see once they first log in. We'll see different industries that the tool caters to, like real estate, for example. And then we'll see some recommended templates underneath. And once the user starts using this application, they will be able to see their recent activities on the right. So now let's take a look. What do we have here on the left? So let's start with a template manager. So here the user can see all of the reports and potential templates for those reports that they can create. They have been pre-populated already. They can also create their own new template from scratch. Or they can use something fun. They can use AI to generate the template based on the instructions. So how about we start here? Let's see what this functionality is. So let's say a user has a template in mind that they want to use for a future report, but it doesn't yet exist in the Techspeak Solutions library. But they also don't want to spend the time and create it manually field by field. That's where this AI comes in. It will help the user to generate a template based on their instructions. So let's see how that works. So let's say we want to create an employee evaluation template. The AI will ask us what kind of fields do we have in mind, and let's say we want to include employee information, performance ratings, overall comments, and signatures. All right, and just like that, the AI will generate a template based on our requirements. And let's say if the user is not happy, they can add additional fields or remove them. They can take a look what the template looks like now. They can save it to their template manager, or they can create a project using that template. For now, let's just save it. All right. Now let's take a look at the other field, which is called data capture. So here the user would be able to start a recording. Let's say instead of using their mobile app in the field, they want to do a recording in their office using their laptop. So the same workflow can be done through their web application. They can start a session here, dictate their information, and have it formatted into a report. Speaking of reports, all of the reports that the user will create will be listed over here. But since the user is new, there is no reports at the moment. So let's go back to a template manager. And now let's create a new template from scratch and go through that workflow. All right, so let's say we are creating an accident report, and it's an automotive compliance report. So we'll fill in our information, mark the category, and create it. Okay, we will start with an empty blank page, and here we can add additional fields and information. So let's say we can open it up. We can add a field. Of course, this is pre-populated for the sake of the demo, but in the real world, the user will be able to add field by field, specify the names and all of the information that they want this template to have. And the goal of creating a template is that the user will be able to reuse it later on, and they only need to create it once. Okay, let's save our template, exit this view, and now we can either edit the template or we can create a project using this template. So let's create a project. Let's give it a name. And now we can see that this template is in progress. And then later on, we can also see this template in the template list. So let's continue with the template that we've created. And here we can see that now we can enter our information. So we can start dictating. So let's say we will dictate that, there was this is an accident report. We can add the time and, other details of when it happened, like the location of the incident and the type of the incident. So the tool will record that data. And as you dictate, the user will be able to see what they're saying. So once they're done, they can click next. Well, pause first, then click next. And then they will see that the information that they dictated has been pre-populated into the report automatically and has been formatted. From here, they can always edit the information if something was captured incorrectly. And after that, they can also add images. Let's say there's been photos from the accident scene. So we can add those, upload. Here's what they will show up. And once the user is happy with the report, they can click next. They can do a final review of the data, and then they can export it. So let's say we have a few different formats. We'll go with PDF, and we just want to save it to our local device. So let's click Save and Complete. And there we go. So we have finished our report. And of course, now the report will be able to show up here as well. So a recently viewed report and the report that we just created. All right, so this will wrap up our web application demo. And now let's jump into the mobile application. All right, now let's take a look at the mobile app. So here we're able to either log in or sign up. We can take a look at this fun carousel that tells us a little bit more about the solution, but let's get to the bottom of it. Let's log in, enter the same credentials, sign into the same account, and here's what we will see. So this is a mobile version of the dashboard. So we have similar categories and recent templates. So let's take a look at our template manager. So quite simple as the web app. We'll have the same templates that we saw earlier. Now let's take a look at the data capture. So we'll see our recent projects that's been recorded. Here's our accident report that we recorded earlier. So we can go and edit it or record additional information. So let's say we want to continue working on this project. So even though we started on the web app, of course, we can always pick it up on the mobile app as well. So let's say we're ready to dictate more information. So again, we'll click dictate and then we'll enter more data about this report. So now we're just using the mobile app to capture that information and we'll see it in a moment. So let's say save the record. And let's say for now, that's it. For now, that's all we want to add. We want to go to reports. Here's, we can still see it. We can take a look at other options that what we have for the accounts. So with the templates, the projects, the reports. And let's say we decided, hey, we have some information we just remembered and we want to add it to that report. So let's go back to our incident report and here where we can resume the progress. So even though we pause, we can always go back and add more data. So here the app prompts us to continue from steps 3. That's where we were capturing the data. So we can either continue from the beginning or go to step 3. Let's go to step 3. And now we can actually dictate more data and add more details about that accident so that it can be added to the report. All right, let's say now we're happy with this data. We can add it. Now we can actually review the data. So we have this view. We can always switch to a mobile view, so something a little bit more readable on the mobile phone. We can also open it up. We can edit the fields. We have some basic editing options. We can then go back and go to the export. So similarly, we can export this report in various formats, but let's say we want to export it as PDF, and let's say we want to save it to files. So now it has been saved to files on this mobile app, and then we will close it, mark it done, and then view it in our reports. All right, this completes the demonstration of the Techspeak Solution product. I hope you enjoyed it. This is a great tool for busy professionals. And if you have any questions, please reach out to the founders. Have a great day.